Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining myself, Joe Wesley, and
Good morning, Lizzy Gabor here.
glad that you're here with us. For those of you who are new to us, thank you for joining us for the first time. For those who've come back, thank you for coming back. Now, we do a little bit of background work, backstory work before we actually start our program. One being that Lizzy is, and I still can't get it right, this is what our 29th session or 30th session, some remarkable phenomena like that. But she's a mindfulness coach, consultant, and she's even more than that. She's a certified yoga instructor. She wears a lot of hats that people say who know her are very credible as a result of that. And to me, that's kind of like a right brain phenomena. And my response is, I'm more the left brain kind of guy. And give me the facts, give me the details, crunch the numbers for me, and I'm good to go. Well, what grabbed my interest was that her position is in learning mindfulness, discovering it, encompassing it, that you'll become more successful besides healthier. But I'm pretty healthy, so I'm still going for the successful part of it. So I said, maybe there's something to this I've yet to figure out. But before we get into our I'm always asking questions. She's always trying to convert me. So anyway, however you're looking at us, be it through YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, please share your comments, maybe your insights and your questions. If you're seeing us on the replay side later on in the day, we do audit those channels. So leave comments anyway. And by all means, if you do it through YouTube, remember to sign in either through your YouTube or Google account to be able to leave a comment back. So today's topic is, and this was a natural for me, it's funny, that mindfulness, Lizzy's statement is, it's for everybody. Everybody will benefit from it. And my thinking is, well, is it really fulfillment or is it really an escape? So that's the topic today. So I'm going to zip up and see what she's got to lay on this one.
It is not an escape. It is actually, you are actually fully living, it's really, I think of it as falling in love. You're falling in love with life when you're practicing mindfulness. You're not missing all of the things that we can miss when we are in our minds, going around in thought, thinking about the next thing or the thing that just happened or that happened years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually experiencing our life in the moment, in our bodies, in our minds, connected. And it's where we don't miss those little moments, the moments that, of looking in our child's eye or looking at our partner, or missing them, give us a look. We don't miss those things. And oftentimes we're so busy being busy and doing that we don't just enjoy those moments. And that's what makes life so good.
Well, I hear
and
that.
Rich and fulfilled.
Well, I'm not sure the fulfilled part of it yet. See how she tries to rush me on these descriptions, folks. So please help me, holler out and drop us a line here. My thing is, my stereotype or my vision is that part of mindfulness is you sit in a yoga-like position and I really can't cross my legs still, and you stare at heaven knows what, and you at some point you clear your mind. And I guess the purpose to clear your mind is to allow positive things to come in. I'll make a stab at that one. But my thing is, if I'm able to clear my mind out of all these issues that are hassling me, why not just stay there? if that's the way it works. I mean, why would I want to come back to the real noisy, busy world if I got this clear mind of peacefulness and joyness? What am I missing?
Well, I mean, there's the difference between the practice of mindfulness meditation, or meditation, other forms of meditation, okay, and the act of mindfully living your life.
Okay.
And the idea is to wake up, and it's basically we all wake up right in the morning, God willing. But do you wake up and you want, or do you want to wake up? And so the practice of mindfulness, the meditation portion, is where you just drop in. It's like dropping in, and then throughout the day you drop into the present moment. You get out of any loop of that perseverant or ruminating thinking that we all are very suffer from a lot of times, because I know that I did. And we just bring ourselves back to what the actual task at hand, and it actually increases our productivity, increases our ability, our attention. It's like, where are we putting our attention? Are we putting it all on the task, or are we still somewhere off in our mind. So yeah, no, it's not sitting all day, but I mean, I have a practice that I do in the morning, that I do a little yoga in order just to move my body. This is what my late thing I've been doing for the last few months is I do a little bit of yoga, and then I sit and I try to sit and drop a little bit beyond the mind and embody, like, my focus on the breathing, focus on my body or where I'm sitting. I sit either in a chair or on the floor, but you don't have to. So there's the practice, and then it's how do I go about my day, falling awake, rather than, just being so busy, or the thing that I always tell people to do, and I think I've told you, Joe, this, that the practice, the homework I always say is just when you're in the shower, just ask yourself, am I in the shower or am I off thinking about what's for lunch, what's for dinner, what this meeting I have? Are you actually feeling the water, focusing on what you're actually doing in the shower? And it's interesting because that a lot of times people say they have the great thoughts in the shower. And I think it's when they do actually feel the shower and they're in there rather than off, that it clears your mind so that the creativity and the imagination part of us can have some space.
Well, but see, now I'm confused because I just heard you say a thought a few moments ago that are you in the shower with your shower at the moment or your mind someplace else? But then you said people sometimes the most creative moments are when they're in the shower. So either they're in the shower with themselves or they're not in the shower with themselves.
Yes. Well, I think that it's being in the shower, really feeling the shower, that you're clearing, you're almost like cleansing yourself so that those creative thoughts come. And it doesn't mean that, you don't let them come, you let them come. Our minds think, but rather than our minds thinking about crazy town, maybe some creativity comes in there.
So folks, we're going to have a future reference on what's considered crazy and what's considered creative. I can't even say the word correctly. Crazy versus creative. And I see my logic reasoning. We're not going to change subject here necessarily, but I believe beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And sometimes crazy things turn to be creative depending on the response of the people around you. But that's for another discussion. Lizzy, you reference yourself sometimes in terms of examples. Could you give us a real life case, if you don't mind, of what you were able to do to convert a moment to something not so much an obstruction for you, or maybe a positive outcome?
Yeah. I mean, this one, I don't know if I share this, but it's just one of the big ones for me is when my son almost got hit by a car, and he was riding on a scooter down our street, and the person in the driveway barreled out and he was passing behind. And for that moment, I thought he was hit. He had to have been. He wasn't. However, for like days and days, whenever I would turn the corner and see that house, my mind would start going into, he could have been dead. He could have this, he could have that, just playing over that moment. And again, my body like feeling it all over again. And I was like, I had to just say, stop. I was like, stop. That didn't happen. You need to, just drop again. That was a past moment, and it's no longer with us. All that we have right now is this moment. So come back to this moment. He is fine. You are fine. And I was able to, after a couple of times of doing that, it just no longer, I no longer had that reaction when I looked at the house, and we get in such a habit of having those catastrophizing or future tripping thoughts that they just take over us, and we don't, and then again, it's our mind is controlling us rather than us controlling our mind. So this practice is like, drop into the moment, drop into the present moment. Right now is all we have. Right now, all we have is me sitting here with you. Past has happened already. The future hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
We are right here, right now. And when we do that, it just, it acts as just, it just acts as a way of grounding ourselves back into a reality, rather than thinking about this, that, or the other thing that really does not make us feel good.
I see. So what I'm taking home with this is that right now I'm the total thing in your life, your total thought, your total focus. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes, you are. Yes,
Oh,
attention.
we got to do more of this, folks.
I mean, I'm still hearing. I'm here. I'm hearing the lawnmowers. I'm
Oh, no,
hearing.
no, no, don't weaken that out now. Don't try to beautify it or make it sound nicer. I'm the total thing at the moment. That's
Yes.
what I'm hearing.
Yes, right here
Fair
with
enough.
you
Having
and with those listening, but with you right now is exactly where my focus is. So again, we
fair.
don't get trained. We don't get trained in this focusing. We get trained in thinking. We get trained in thought in school. We don't get trained in awareness. And I think it's really a problem in our educational system. We don't get trained to be. We are human beings.
Okay, I hear that. Now, also another revelation I'm hearing, and I'm still not admitting to anything just yet. I had to write this down. It's still alien to me. But I'm looking at mindfulness to define it in my left brain format. It's an awareness. Now, that's half of my statement. And the meditation is to provide you the path to that awareness. Is that a reasonable concept?
Yes, and it's an awareness of without judgment. It's an awareness of what is, how you're feeling, whatever wherever the health of your body is in that moment. It's just an awareness and an acceptance without judgment of what is. And and that can really, it's really helpful. And it's actually really, really helpful for people who deal with any kind of chronic pain or it's just, this is what is in this moment. And then there's going to be another moment behind it. And I might feel different. And the thoughts, this is just a thought. And then poof, it's gone. It's like a cloud going by. Poof, another thought's going to come. And that can happen during your practice too. And that's, again, it's where you're able to somewhat be the observer of the thinker, the observer. You're not, you're not the thoughts. And
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. Now, another topic that just occurred to me, folks, and sometimes we give preambles or preludes, is that I'm assuming we talk about the path to awareness, or path to the state of awareness or mindfulness, that I'm assuming there are different paths one can take, different techniques of path. And so one of the questions I'm going to bring up in the future, and by the way, folks, when you write in, please ask these types of questions to help me out, is that you chose, Lizzy, a given path, and I'm going to ask you why you chose the path versus other, maybe list 3 or 4 different types of paths, and why you chose your path, why it's worked the best for you, to let people know what's out in the market. Because if people are like myself, and I suspect there's a majority of people, I like to believe a majority of people who are like myself, heaven help them. That being said, we're too confused because there's so many options of paths out there for people, representing people that you provide the service about, that how do I choose a path? Why this path or another? So am I right about there are different paths? And
there's a lot of different paths, and I've tried a lot of them. I've tried a lot of different things, and sometimes I use one for a little while and I move to something else. So it's about just kind of trying different things: yoga, Tai Chi, different forms of meditation,
right?
Just breathing, just long, deep breathing, just anything that's going to help manage stress, because stress is really causes all kinds of problems,
right?
for us in our relationships, in our health, and beyond. And for some people it's walking, and nature. For some people it's knitting, so it's whatever can help you be in the place of presence, being fully present, embodied in your body, and focused in your mind on whatever it is.
Right.
So whether it's your breathing in say a mindfulness meditation, or movement in yoga, there's a lot of different ways to get yourself into that state. So whatever it is for somebody, try it and notice. And again, just like try to become aware of, when do I feel really alive and also in what I'm doing and calm. There's so there's a lot of different pathways.
I see that. And you talk about being in the current state of mind. It reminds me with the Olympics, I guess, will be coming up this summer, or I guess late fall, that sometimes they'll show an athlete, maybe it's the hop, skip, jump routine, and the camera will be on that person's face before they begin their program, and it's magnified. And you see that person like going through the steps in their head mentally to get in that state of mind. Is that the concept you're talking about to take us home here?
Well, that's another practice of visualization, which where they're visualizing the outcome that they want to see, which is an amazing strategy for up leveling your performance in anything you do, is to visualize yourself seeing it in your mind's eye before you do it. I think what they're doing. They're seeing themselves with the biggest jump before it.
But isn't that the state of mind or awareness you're talking about, or am I confused on that?
Well, there's that is a visualizing an outcome is different than just performing and attending to the actual thing you're doing in that moment. Does that make sense?
No, but we'll do it again for another program. See, I should try to stick that up on me. No, it makes no sense at all. That's why we're doing these things, folks. So with that, we've kind of reached the witching hour. Thank you very much for joining us. Please share your comments directly or after the facts. I need some help on this.
Thanks so much, everybody.
So long.